but the previous one is what? Money transfer. Let me run. I think I didn't execute this then. Now, like, see, suppose for example, select start from accounts. Okay, table is not there. Create the table. Create table. What? Accounts. One field is account number, account type, care of one. Next, balance, money type. So create the table and insert data into the table. Insert into accounts values. A, balance is 10,000. 101. B, 20,000. Okay, done. So 2 rows affected. Table is created plus the records are also inserted into table. Now, next. Now run the program. Okay, now run this program. Then now, so execute this program. Then, like suppose here. Then, so what is the account number? What is the account number you entered? 100. Account number is 100. What is the type? Withdraw. What is the amount you want to withdraw? 1000. Is type equals to withdraw? Yes. Condition true. Then what we are doing? I want to check the balance. For checking the balance, we are getting the balance. What is the balance of account number 100? What this variable value is? 100. Then 100. Variable value is 100. So account number 100. Account number 100 balance is selected. That balance is copied to this variable. Okay. Now, what the balance? Then now what the 100 balance is? 10,000. So what is value copied to this variable? 10,000. What the amount you entered? 1,000. Is 1,000 is greater than 10,000? Amount. Withdraw amount is greater than balance? No. Condition false. When condition false, then go to else. Then what is executed is update command is executed. Okay, na? This update is executed. So what the balance is? 10,000. 10,000 minus 1,000. Balance is updated with what? 9,000. Okay. His actual balance is 10,000 minus 1,000. His balance is updated with 9,000. That's all. When this command is executed, that means this part is executed. When this part is executed, then program ends. Okay. Then now let me run this. Okay, na? Then incorrect is here near end. So there is no end here. Okay, because there is no begin end. When begin is there, end should be there. There is no begin here. Okay, na? Then so let me run this. One row affected. Now see the table. So his balance is updated with what? 9,000. Okay, next one. Account number is 100. Type is withdraw, but he is withdrawing 15,000. Is withdrawing what? 15,000. But the balance is 10,000. Balance is 10,000. And his balance is 9,000. Balance is 9,000. What is the amount you entered? 15,000. 15,000 is greater than 9,000. Condition true. When condition true, then prints what? Insufficient funds. You see that insufficient funds. Okay. Then next, account number is 100. Type is what? D, deposit, and it depositing 5,000. Okay, na? It depositing what? 5,000. Is the type is withdraw? Type is withdraw? No. Then go to next one. Type is deposit? Yes. Condition true. Then this update is executed. But the balance is balance is 9,000. 9,000 plus 5,000, 14,000. Balance is updated with 14,000. Let me run this. Okay, na? Accounts. Okay, then one row affected. Now see the table. 14,000. That's right. Okay, now this is what then. So just how to write if else, and this example is nested if. Okay, then you try one. What that is? Write a program for money transfer. I written program for withdraw deposit, but you write for money transfer. Money transfer means transfer amount from one account to another account. Okay. Write a program for money transfer amount from one account to another account. Okay, then now let's see. Then you write it. You can write it. Yes. Okay. Next we'll see one more. After that, we'll go to the next one. There is a table. What the table is? Student table. Student number, student name, S1, S2, S3, like this. Student 1 name is A, 80, 90 something, 70. Student 2 B, 30, 60, 50. Now there is one more table. What the table is? Result table. Student number, total, average, results. Then what this program is? Write a program to input student number and calculate total, average, result, and insert into result table. Write a program to input student number and calculate total, average, result, and insert into result table. So this is the table. Okay. Write a program to input the student number, calculate the total, average, result, and insert into result table. I want result to be pass fail. What the result is? Result is pass fail. Okay, now next, let's see this here. So in this example, so I need to input student number, take a variable for student number. Next, I have to calculate what? Total, average, result. For calculating the total, average, result, what I need? I need subject marks. Okay, na? There is a subject marks, subject 1 marks, subject 2 marks, subject 3 marks. I need subject marks. Okay. To calculate total, average, result, I need individual subject marks. So there are 3 subjects. I am taking 3 variables. One variable for subject 1, one variable for subject 2, one variable for subject 3. Next, I want to calculate total at the rate total, then integer. Average is what? Decimal, 5, 2. Average is float. Average is what? Float. Average is float. So that's why I'm declaring decimal 5, 2. Next one, result. Result what? care of 4, pass fail. Okay, one variable for student number, one variable for subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, one variable for total, one variable for average, one variable for results. Okay, na? That. So one for total, one for average, one for results. Next one. Like after this, input the student number. Input the student number. Set SNO equals to student number is what? 1. Student number is 1. Input the student number. Student number is 1. Next one. After input the student number, what do you want? I want to calculate this particular student total average result. For calculating the total average result, what we need? We need the individual subject marks. For calculating the total, we need individual subject marks. So where the individual subject marks are there? Student table. So get the marks from student table to this program. How to get? Select. Select what? Select at the rate what? S1 equal to S1, at the rate S2 equal to S2, at the rate S3 equal to S3 from what? Student table. Okay, na? Then. So subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. Okay, next. Next one. Where condition. Which student? Where student number equal to at the rate SN. I want this particular student marks. So getting the marks, copying the marks to this variable. Now, once you know the marks, now you can calculate what? Total. Calculate the total, assign the total into this variable. Then set what? At the rate total equal to at the rate S1 plus at the rate S2 plus at the rate S3. So total equal to subject 1 marks plus subject 2 marks plus subject 3 marks. Assign that to total. Next one, average. What set? Average. Average equals to total by 3. Okay, now you calculated the total average. Next one, what do you want? I want what's it? Result. Result is pass fail. Result is pass fail. So when pass, when fail, if individual subject marks greater than 35, result is pass. Otherwise fail. And then if what? S1 greater than or equals to 35 and S2 greater than or equals to 35 and S3 greater than or equals to 35, then set what? Set, I taken a variable result. So what you assign to this result? Pass. Else what? Else result equals to fail. Result equals to fail. Okay. Then if individual subject marks greater than 35, result is pass. Otherwise fail. Now you calculated what? Student total, average, result. What is the aim of this program? Insert into what? After calculation, after calculating, insert into result table. Insert into result table. How? Insert into what? The table result values. In result table, what is the first column? Student number. Here, where is the student number? Where is the student number? At the rate SNO. Student number is there in this variable. Student number. Student number is assigned to this variable. Where is the total? Total is what? At the rate what? At the rate total. Where is the average? At the rate average. Where is the result? At the rate result. That's all. So calculated the student total average result, inserted into result table. Input the student number. I want to calculate this particular student total. To calculate this student total average, I need individual subject marks. But where the marks are there? Student table. So get the marks from student table, copy that to the variables, calculate the total average result, insert into result table. That's that. Okay, okay. Then okay. Now let's see. Sir, in every program, sequence is same. Like maybe so different programs, different tables, but procedure is same. First input, first input. After completing the input, for your calculations, what data is required from the table, get the data from table, store the data into variables. Next, calculate. Whatever calculations you want to do, perform the calculations. If you want to print, print. If you want to insert into table, insert into table. That's all. Here, what is the aim of this program? Calculating total average result of a particular student. First, input the student number. After input the student number, what is the aim? You want to calculate this particular student total average result. For calculating total average, what you need? You need marks. Where the marks are there? Table. So get the marks from table, copy that marks to the variables. Okay. Na? Next, after copying the marks to this variable, subject 1 marks are copied to this variable. Subject 2 marks are copied to this variable. Subject 3 marks are copied to this variable. Calculate total. Calculate the total, assign the total into one variable. Calculate the average, assign the average into this variable. Find the result. Next, now you know total, you know average, you know result. Then what? What the next? After calculating total average result, what you have to do? Insert. Okay, na? The aim of this program is to insert. Insert into table. So insert into table. Insert into table. That's all. Okay, then now create the tables. Create table. What is the table? Student. Student number, integer. Student name, varchar of 10. Next one, subject 1, integer. Subject 2, integer. Subject 3, integer. So table is created, but it's saying table is already there. Then drop the table. Then next, so insert, create the table. So table is created. Next one, insert into student value. Student 1, A. Next one, 80, 90, 70. Student 2, B, 30, 60, 50. So just insert 2 rows. Next one, create what? Create what? Create table. What is the result table? Student number, integer. Next one, total, integer. Average, decimal, 5 comma 2, because average is float. Next one, result. Result, what's that? Care of 4. Commands completed successfully. Now the tables are ready. Tables are ready. Next, what? Tables are ready. Then run the program. So just execute this program. And one row affected. That means the student is inserted into result table. Go and see the result table. Just see the result table. Select star from what? result. Select star from result. 1, 240, 80 pass. Because what are the subject marks? What are the subject 1 marks? Subject 1 marks 80. Subject 2 marks 70. Subject 2 marks 90 something. 80, 70, 90. What? Okay, na? What is the total? 80 plus 90. 80 plus 90. 170. 170, 70. 240. What is the total is 240. 240 by 3. 80. Individual subject marks greater than 35. Yes. What the result is? Pass. Then that is what inserted. 240, 80 pass. Now suppose enter student number 2. What is the student 2? Subject 1, 30, 60, 50, 140. Okay, na? Total is what? 140. 140 by 3. 46 point something. Individual subject marks greater than 35? No. First subject marks 30, less than 35. Then go to else. What is assigned to result? Fail. Now you are inserting into result. Student number is 2. Total is 140. Average is 46 point something. Result is fail. Yes. Now let me run this. One row affected. Now see the table. 46, 140, 46 fail. Okay. Sir, okay na? Then that's all. But here, so this program calculating how many students, this is calculating how many students total average result. Only one student. Whatever student number you input, that particular student total average result is calculated. But my table is having 60 students. Table is having what, sir? 60 students. I want to calculate all the 60 students total average result. So tell me how many times you have to run this program? 60 times. Every time you run the program, input the number, input the number, input the number, input the number. Run the program, input the number, input the number, run the program, input the student number, run the program. Like this, you have to repeat how many times? 60 times. Difficult or not? Yes. Can't we calculate all the students total average result and insert into result table? Not one student. I want to calculate all the students. How? Then by using what's that? While loop. Okay, na? TSQL supports only one loop, that is while loop. No for loop, no do while, only one. What that is? While loop. Okay, while loop. Then, you know, loops are used for executing the statements what repeatedly multiple times. Yes or no? Okay, na? What is the syntax of while loop? While condition begin what statements end. So this is the syntax. While condition begin statements end. Okay, then how this works? So first it checks what condition. Condition true enters into loop. Execute the statements. Again check the what condition. Condition what true. Again execute the statements. Again check the condition true. Execute the statement. This is repeated till the condition is what? False. Once condition false, loop terminates. Condition true, loop is continued. Condition false, loop terminates. Okay, then so if condition true, loop continues. If condition false, loop terminates. If true continues, if false terminates. Okay, then now okay, so this is what then how to use while loop. Let's see one or two examples. Okay, then how to use loops. Suppose write a program to print, okay, numbers from, right, print numbers from 1 to 20. Write a program to print numbers from 1 to 20. Okay, na? To print numbers from 1 to 20. Now let's take a variable, declare at the rate x integer. I declare the variable. You can declare plus at the same time you can initialize. The variable is declared plus also initialize it with what? 1. You can declare plus at the same time you can initialize. Otherwise set x equal to 1. Okay, na? Otherwise what? Set x equal to 1. Next, taking a what's that? I want to print numbers from 1 to 20. Then take a loop. To print numbers, take a loop, while loop. While what? This loop should start from 1, should continue up to 20. How to write continue the loop up to 20? Continue the loop up to 20. At the rate what? X less than or equals to 20. Then what? Begin. Begin what? Then print x. X is printed. How much it prints? 1. Next, I want to print 2. To print 2, x must be incremented by 1. Increment x value by 1. How to increment x value? Set. Set what? X equal to x plus 1. Okay. Then what are the x values? X value is what? No. Here x value 1. Condition true. Prints 1. Now x becomes 2. 2 less than or equals to 20. Print 2. X becomes, x is incremented by 1. 3. Condition true. Prints 3. 4. This goes up to 20. 20 less than or equals to 20. Print 20. 20 plus 1. Then 20 plus 1. Then 21. Condition false. Loop terminates. That's what this program is. This program prints numbers from 1 to 20. Then now let me run this. See this printing 1 to 20. Okay. Then okay. Then okay, now that's how. This is what, like, how to use while loop. But in this example, what we are printing is printing the numbers, not printing the numbers. I want to print dates. For example, write a program to print 2023 calendar. I want to print dates. Okay, write a program to print 2023 calendar. Means I want output to be like this. Start from 1st January. What is the day? Sunday, suppose. Okay, na? Next one, 2023 January 2nd, Monday. Like I want to continue this up to 12/31st, up to December 31st. I want to print like this: date, day, date, day. Start from 1st January, continue up to 31st December. Okay, now, now let's see. So take what's it? I'm taking two date variables. I'm taking two date variables. Date 1, date 2, because I have two dates. What is that is? Where you want to start and you want to continue up to what? Where you want to start and you want to continue up to what? So I'm taking two dates, date 1, date 2. Assign start date to D1. Assign the start date to D1. What is the start date? I want to start from January 1st. Assign the end date to D2. D2 equals to 2023 12/31st. Okay, then start date is assigned to D1. End date is assigned to D2. Next one, while while what? D1, I want to start from January 1st and I want to continue up to 31st December. How to write the condition? D1 less than or equals to D2. D1 less than or equals to D2. Okay. So starts from January 1st and it will continue up to 31st December. Every time what do you want to do? Every time I want to print date plus day. First listen, date and day. What is the date? D1. I want to print start from January 1st. So date. Next is space. I want to print day. Then space concatenate plus date date name DW, which date at the rate D1. D1 date. D1 is January 1st day of the week. Okay, na? D1 is January 1st, na? So January 1st day of the week is printed. January 1st is completed. January 1st is printed. Next January 2nd. Then January 2nd. What? Set. At the rate what? D1 equals to at the rate D1 plus 1. Now what we will get? 2nd January. 2nd January less than or equal to 31st December. Yes. Condition true. Prints 2nd January day of the week. Next 2nd January plus 1. 3rd January. Condition true. Prints 3rd January day of the week. Like this goes up to 31st. Let me execute this program. And so it is giving errors. There are two errors here. Error at line 7, error at line 8. Once again. Okay. There is error here. Then what? Why this error is? So there is an error at what's that? Error at line 6, error at line 7. What is the line 6? This is line 6. Line 7. error at line 6, error at line 7. Then why this error? You know this. Because date name returns what? Character. But at the rate D1 is what? Date type. Concatenation, when you are concatenating, all must be character type. Then cast. Apply cast function. Cast at the rate D1 as what? Varchar. Cast at the rate D1 as varchar. Okay, na? Now, next. Now this is okay. Line 6 is okay now, but line 7. This is line 7. Date is incompatible with integer. You cannot add like this. You cannot add like this. At the rate D1 plus 1 is not allowed. Then how to add days? How to add days? To add days to the date, there is a function date add. You cannot add directly like that. You have to use this function date add. What is this is? What do you want to add? DD. How many days you want to add? 1 day. To which date you want to add? At the rate D1. That's all. 1 day is added to at the rate D1. This is how to add days. You cannot directly like plus D1 plus 1. Okay, na? Then. So we have to use a function called date add. So what do you want to add? Days. How many days you want to add? 1 day. To which date you want to add? At the rate D1. Okay, na? Now first time it print January 1st plus 1. January 2nd. You'll get January 2nd. Condition true. January 2nd. January 3rd. Like this goes up to what? 31st December. So let me run this program. What this program prints? Okay, na? Then so January calendar, Sunday, Monday, like this. January is completed. What this is? Feb. Today is 4th. Okay, na? Then next March. So next April, May. Okay, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, then. Hmm? Okay. Okay. No. But this is printing. Okay. This is printing all the days. Okay. Na? All 365 days. But write a program to print Sundays between two given dates. So I don't want to print all the days. I want to print only Sundays. Previous one is printing all. Then small change to this program. Just you have to small change. Uh, so then print Sundays. No, don't print all the days. Inside the loop, what you have to check days Sunday or not. If day is Sunday, then print. Day is not Sunday, don't print. Then what? Then inside the loop, what? Check day is Sunday or not. How to check? Write a what? If condition. If what? Date name DW at the rate D1 equal to Sunday. Then print. Okay, now, so this print statement is executed. This print is executed if this condition true. This print is executed if this condition true. Then print is executed. Okay, now then. So if this condition false, print is not executed. Print is executed only if this condition true. That's all. Understood now? Then so this program will print only Sundays. Let me run this now. So this is printing only what's that? Sundays. So this is February. What 5th tomorrow, Sunday, 12th, 19, 26. So it is printing up to 31st December. Okay. Understood then. Okay. Na? So inside the loop, what you are doing is checking the condition. Inside the loop, checking the condition. Okay. Okay, then. So previous is printing all, but here we are printing only if this condition true. This condition true means this condition is true means day is what? Sunday. If the day is Sunday, then print. Okay, then. But you're getting the output. Yes, printing the Sundays. Output wise, okay, but logic wise, not a good logic because you're checking every day. Every day you are checking. First one is what? January 1st. Checks January 1st is Sunday. Yes. Condition true. Then what happens? One day is added. Then what you will get? January 2nd. January 2nd. Condition false. January 3rd. False. January 4th. False. January 5th. True. Okay. How many days you are checking? All 365 days. You're checking each and every day now. You're checking all 365 days, Sunday or not, Sunday or not, Sunday or not. So any simple logic is there? Any simple logic? Instead of checking every day, any simple logic is there? The logic becomes simple if we can able to find first Sunday. If we can able to find what? First Sunday starting from January 1st, then logic becomes simple. Because once you know first Sunday, remaining Sundays easily you'll get by adding 7 days, plus 7, plus 7, plus 7, plus 7. Okay, na? Then how to get the first Sunday? Then question is how to get the first Sunday. I want first Sunday starting from D1. I want to get first Sunday starting from D1. Then how? Starting from D1, I want to get the first Sunday. Then how? I want to get first Sunday starting from D1. If D1 is Sunday, Sunday, D1. If D1 is not Sunday, then I want Sunday starting from D1. So understood now? Then because if you know first Sunday, boss, remaining Sundays easily you'll get by adding 7, plus 7, plus 7, plus 7. Then how to get first Sunday? Then you take another loop, while loop. You take another loop. Sir, this first while loop, once again, listen. This while loop is for to get the first Sunday. This is for what? To get the first Sunday. Second while loop is to print remaining Sundays. This is for getting the first Sunday. This is for printing the remaining. Next, how to get date name? What? DW at the rate D1 not equal to what's that? Sunday. Not equal to Sunday, then this loop is continued. Not equal to Sunday, then this loop is what? Continued. Every time what I'm doing, date what's that? Add DD, then 1 at the rate what? D1. Once again. So this logic is for what? This is like loop to get what's that? First Sunday. To get first Sunday, this is the loop. Sir, like 1 second. I'm starting from January 2nd. I'm starting from what? January 2nd. So this is January 2nd. January 2nd is Sunday. Jan 2nd is Sunday. No, what? Monday. Monday. Condition? No, this is not equal. January 2nd is not Sunday. Our condition is also not equal to Sunday. Condition? True. 1 day is added. What we will get? 1 day is added. 3rd January. 3rd January is what? Tuesday. 3rd January is not equal to Sunday. Yes. Condition? True. 1 day is added. 4th January. 4th January is what? Wednesday. Condition? True. 1 day is added. 1 day is added. 5th January. 5th January is what? 5th January is what? Thursday. Condition true. 6th January. Friday. 7th January. Saturday. 8th January. Sunday. Condition false. Because Sunday, but here not equal to Sunday, but day is what? Sunday. Condition false. And the loop is what? Terminated. When loop is terminated, what is D1 is? When this loop is terminated, what is D1 is? D1 is 8th January. When this loop is terminated, what is D1? 8th January. What is 8th January? Sunday. That means you got the first Sunday. Yes. Then you got the first Sunday. First Sunday, what's it? Like 1 second. First Sunday. So then this loop, now once this loop is completed, then you got the first Sunday. What is D1 is 8 January. 8 January less than or equal to 31st December. Yes. Print what, sir? Print what? What is printed? 8 January is printed. Then D1 equal to D1 what, sir? 7. 7 days are added. 8 January plus 7. Then what? 15th January. 15th January less than or equal to 31st December. Yes. Prints 8th, 15th January. 15th January plus 7. 22nd January. Like this. Understood or not? Then. So, like here, this second loop is for to what? To get what, sir? Remaining Sundays. This is to get first Sunday. This is to get remaining Sundays. Understood? Then, sir, if you write like this, if you write logic like this, loop executes how many times? If you write a logic like this loop executes how many times? 365 times. If you write like this loop executes how many times? This loop executes how many times? 52 times. This loop executes how many times? 52 times. Okay, now? Then, because every time you are incrementing by 7. So this loop executes how many times? 52 times. Previous one, loop executes how many times? 365. Now here it executes 52. There is a big difference or not? Yes. Then which is good logic? This one. Okay, then. So, but both will give the same output. You check this one also. So I want to start from what's it? January 1st. I want to start from January 1st. Then, so both will give the same outputs. Output is same. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. But difference is there in what's it? Performance. Okay. Then. So this is what this is called comments. So how to insert command slash star star slash. Okay, then. So this is what, like printing what's her dates, printing the dates. Okay, then. So this is just one example for how to use what just loops. Okay, then. Now, what the next actually topic is what cursors. Oh, so what is cursor? What for cursors are used in TSQL program? Okay, then. So what is cursor? If you see the previous example, in previous example, sir, how many students total average result you calculated? Only one. But there are 60 students. I want to calculate all the 60 students total average result. Okay, then. So you calculated only one, but I want to calculate all the students total average result. So that means I want to process multiple rows. So whenever I want to process multiple rows, cursor comes into the picture. In TSQL program, you want to access one row. From table, you want to access one row. Cursor is not required. But you want to process multiple rows, then cursor is required. Okay. You want to calculate one particular student total average result. Cursor is not required. You want to calculate all the students total average and result. Then what? Cursor is required. So what we can do, suppose here, this is the student table. This is the student table. So this is there in the database. This student table contains how many students data. So this contains what's that? 60 students. What is this contains? This contains 60 students data. Now, so this is program. This is the TSQL program. But with the help of cursors, what we can do, we can access row by row. We can access what? Row by row. So this is the first student. So get the first student record into the program and calculate the total average result and insert into result table. And get the second student data, calculate the total average result, and get the third student data and calculate the total average result. Like, so what we can do by using cursor, we can access what? Row by row into TSQL program and process the row. So okay, now what we can do, we can access what? Row by row. We access multiple row by row. So first you access the first row, calculate the total average result. Access the second row, second student, calculate the total average result. So you can access row by row. Okay, then. So then to do this, we use what? Cursor. Then what is cursor is? Okay, then cursors are used to process row by row in TSQL program. Used to process row by row in TSQL program. This is the purpose of cursor. Okay, then. Next, 1 second. Suppose here, see, this is the server. Inside the server, there is a database. Okay, then. So this is the server. Inside the server, there is a what? Database, and there is a temporary storage, temporary memory, This temporary memory is created in what's that? RAM, temporary memory. This is created in RAM. Next, and database contains one table. What the table is? EMP table. Okay, then. So there is a database, there is a server. Inside the server, there is a database. The database contains what? EMP table, and there is a temporary memory. Now, this is your program. This is your TSQL program. Now, this program is connected to SQL Server. Now, in this program, you want to access all the employees' data. You're writing a program. In this program, you want to access what? All the employees' data. Then you submit a query. For the query you submit, select what's the star from EMP. You submit a query to SQL Server. You submit what? A query to SQL Server. Select star from EMP. Then SQL Server goes to what? You submit a query to SQL Server. SQL Server goes to database, because where is the EMP table? Database. SQL Server goes to database and get the EMP table, and the EMP table is copied into memory. This temporary memory. EMP table data is copied to what? Temporary memory. So all 14 records, all 14 records are copied to temporary memory. Okay, then all these 14 rows are copied to temporary storage. Now, I want to access this data in what's the program. I want to access this data in program. To access this data in program, give some name to this memory. So if you want to access the data stored in the memory, you have to give the name. By using that name only, we can access the data. So give some name to this memory. How to give the name? Suppose I'm giving a name, what's that? C1. I'm giving a name C1. The C1 is pointing to this memory. The C1 is pointing to this memory. And using this C1, we can access one by one row into the TSQL program, process the row. Okay, na? Then using this C1, we can access row by row into TSQL program and process the row. So listen, what is the first step? This is the program. In this program, you want to process all the employees' data. Then you submit a query to SQL Server. What SQL Server will do? It goes to database, because where is the table? Database. SQL Server goes to database, and the EMP table data is copied to temporary memory. So you want to access this data in what's the program. To access this data in program, give some name to this memory. I given a name C1, and using this name C1, we can access row by row into program, process the row. And what this C1 is called? The C1 is called cursor. What this C1 is called? Cursor. That means using this cursor, we can access row by row into TSQL program, process the row. That's all. So this is cursor concept. Okay, then. So from TSQL program, if we submit a query to SQL Server, from TSQL program, if we submit a query to SQL Server, then it goes to database, query to SQL Server, then it goes to database and get the data and copy the data into temporary memory. Get the data and copy the data into temporary memory. And using cursor, we can give a name to that memory and access what? Row by row into TSQL program and process the row. So this is the cursor concept. Okay, then. Okay, next. But if you want to use cursor, okay, now if you want to use cursor, follow below steps. Follow below steps to use cursor. One is, if you want to use cursor in your program, you have to follow these steps. One is what? Declare cursor. Next one, what? Open cursor. Next one, third, fetch records from cursor. Fourth, close cursor. Fifth, deallocate cursor. So to use cursor, follow these steps. Declare cursor, open cursor, fetch records, close cursor, deallocate cursor. Okay, then. First one, declare cursor. Declare cursor. Declare cursor. So if you want to use cursor, first you need to declare. Like you want to use variable, first declare the variable. Like similarly, when you want to use cursor, first declare the cursor, because when you declare the cursor, it will allocate the memory. Okay, then how to declare the cursor? Like, so declare cursor name, cursor for select statement. This is the syntax you have to follow. Okay, then declare name, cursor name, cursor for select statement. So like example, declare C1 cursor for select star from EMP. Okay. Declare C1 cursor for select star from EMP. So this is declaring the cursor. Okay, then. So that means when you declare the cursor, what happens? Memory is what? Allocated. Memory is allocated, but cursor is not filled with data. Okay, now just only memory is allocated. So cursor is declared with select statement. Variables declared with data type. Variables are declared with data type. Cursor is declared with what? Select statement. Select star from EMP. What is the next? Then what the next one is? Opening cursor. Then opening cursor. How to open? Open cursor name. Open cursor name. Example. Example what? Open C1. Example open C1. Cursor is open. Open C1. Cursor is open. Okay. When cursor is open, what happens? When you open the cursor, then what happens? First step. This select statement is submitted to, sir, where you are doing all this, your program, from your program. You are writing all this in program. So when you open the cursor in your program, the select statement is submitted to SQL Server. When open statement is executed, the select statement is sent to SQL Server. SQL Server will execute the query. Data written by query is copied to temporary memory. The select statement output is copied to temporary memory. And cursor C1 is set to this memory. Cursor C1 is points to this memory. Okay, na? Then tell me what happens when you open the cursor. What happens is the select statement. So the select statement is submitted to SQL Server. SQL Server execute the query. Data written by query is copied to temporary memory. And cursor C1 points to the temporary memory. That's all. So first step, then when cursor is open, so the select statement is submitted to SQL Server. Data written by select statement is okay. Then select statement is submitted to SQL Server, and SQL Server execute the query, and data written by query is copied to temporary memory. And cursor C1 points to the temporary memory. Okay, then next. Now, so this is filled with data, and cursor C1 is pointing to this. What are the next step? Fetch one by one record from cursor to this program. Now data is there in the memory now, temporary memory. Now fetch the data from cursor to this program. Okay. Then what is fetching records from cursor? Fetching records. Okay. Now, actually, sir, if you memory wise, this is temporary storage. When it comes to program, this is called cursor. Sir, in server, this is called temporary storage. When it comes to program, when it comes to this program, what this is called? Cursor. This is called cursor. Okay, na? So this is called cursor. And fetching the record from cursor to the program. Fetch the record from cursor to program. Using this name C1, fetch the record from cursor to the program. Okay. What statement is used? How to fetch? We use a statement. What that is? Fetch statement. Fetch statement is used to fetch record from cursor. Fetch statement is used to fetch record from cursor. To fetch the record from cursor, we use fetch statement. To fetch data from table, we want to fetch data from table. To fetch data from table, we use select statement. Select statement to fetch data from table. Fetch statement to fetch data from cursor. So how to use fetch statement? Fetch next from cursor name. Cursor name. Fetch next from cursor name into what variables. So this is the syntax. Fetch next from C1. Fetch next from cursor into variables. Okay, then Oh. So what is stored into cursor? Tell me, what is stored into cursor? Hmm? What is stored into cursor? This one, this one. What is stored into cursor C1? This is temporary. I'm asking what is stored into cursor C1? What is temporary memory bus? I'm asking what is stored into cursor C1? What data? Like you take this example, you take this example. What data is stored in cursor C1? EMP table data. Okay, na? So cursor C1 stores employees data. Okay, then. So this is what cursor, what data 7369, employee Smith, job is clerk, some salary, some commission, etc. So 7499, employee name Ellen, okay, na? Salesman, like this. So this is the data stored into cursor C1. So total how many employees? 14 employees. And this cursor contains two more rows. This cursor contains two more rows. One is before the first row, another one after the last row. This cursor contains two more rows. One is before the first row, another one after the last row. Let's take C1, cursor C1. Let's take C1. C1 points to before the first row. Initially, where is the cursor? Cursor C1. This cursor C1, where is the cursor C1? Cursor C1 is at what? Before the first row. Before the first row. Next one. Fetch next is executed. When fetch next is executed, this cursor is moved to what? Next record. When fetch next is executed, this cursor is moved to what? Next record. And the next record is fetched. Next record is fetched. What are these values? What are these values? Next record is fetched. This fetch next. This record is fetched. Then this contains what values? Number, name, job, salary. Number is assigned to one variable. Job is assigned to one variable. Salary is assigned to one variable. Then you have to write like this. What is fetch next from C1 into A, like B, suppose C, so on. So what is the first value? Employee number. Employee number is assigned to A. What is the second value? Name. Name is assigned to B. What is the third value? Job. Job is assigned to C, like this. Every time fetch next is executed, cursor is moved to next row. Cursor is moved to next row. And these values are fetched. These values are assigned to what variables? Values are assigned to variables. Okay, then. But this fetch statement fetches how many rows at a time? One row. But what is your aim? So I want to process all these 14 rows. Then fetch statement should be executed what? Multiple times. To execute the fetch statement multiple times, fetch statement should be inside a loop, while loop. Okay, na? Then. So next, a fetch statement fetches one row at a time. One row at a time. But to process multiple rows, fetch statement should be executed multiple times. To process multiple rows, fetch statement should be executed multiple times. So fetch statement should be inside a loop. then. Okay, na? So we'll see close deallocate in the next class, and we'll see the example also.